Welcome, Mr. Gnome, and welcome to this crypto update. We do have an emergency on the markets right now because, as you can see in my previous update, I was expecting Bitcoin to dump roughly to this trend line here, and that move is now ongoing. But we have the massive whale which we have been tracking on this channel, who had 80,009 Bitcoin inside their wallets. That money is now being deposited onto Galaxy Digital's from Galaxy Digital's wallets onto exchange wallets. So here you can see a report from Luke on Chain that over 10,000 Bitcoin, over $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin, have now been moved over to exchange wallets. And when I went over to Arkham Intelligence, this is the wallet in question, which has almost $4 billion as of now. And when we go to the outflow page number 1 here, you can see that this dumping is ongoing. You can see 9 minutes ago, 345 Bitcoin were transferred over to Binance. 9 minutes ago, another 300 Bitcoin to Binance. 9 minutes ago, another 320 Bitcoin over to Binance. And this is going like 28 minutes ago, 28 minutes ago, 28 minutes ago. And we can go forward all the way to page 7. And this dumping basically started 10 hours ago. So when I made a spreadsheet of all of these dumpings, it's not 10,000 Bitcoin, it's already north of 23,000 Bitcoin when you calculate even the most recent 9 minutes ago transfers. And the total value of all of the dumps is already $3 billion. So this dump, as it is ongoing, it is pushing the price downwards, as you can obviously see. Now, how low will this go, and will this support line here actually uh, will it actually hold? I do not have the answer to that question, but we will take a look at the data. But as of now, it seems like the dumping is in full force. And even as the Bitcoin is being dumped on the exchanges, it doesn't mean that the exchange sells it immediately. So this dumping could still spill over to next week, which is a little bit unfortunate. So it is possible that we basically break through down from here. If that happens, that is obviously not great for our beautiful inverse head and shoulders and for our potential bull market targets. So I hope that this trend line actually holds, but I'm giving you guys this warning that probably all of this Bitcoin is being sold in the coming weeks. So let's actually continue to other news that we have, which is that we also have buying to counter this sell pressure. So H100 Group, I believe they are from Sweden, if I remember correctly. Yeah, SEK is from Sweden. They bought another 112 Bitcoin, which is obviously nice. It's nothing compared to the dumping we're currently seeing on real time, but it is still buying. Also, we are seeing buying from Mara Holdings, which is the largest Bitcoin miner in the United States. They are also doing the Bitcoin strategic reserve strategy, and they are now applying to buy $855 million worth of Bitcoin from the markets as well. We had Michael Saylor buying 6,220 Bitcoin this week, which was almost $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. And then we also got an update from MicroStrategy that they are announcing a new preferred stock offering, STRC, which is basically just a yield product where they promise you 9% yield, and all of the money that they gain, they will basically go ahead and go to the open market and buy a Bitcoin with that money. Now, how this actually works, from my understanding, is it's basically shorting Bitcoin while holding Bitcoin on spot markets at the same time. So they collect the funding rate from that Bitcoin short while holding the same amount of Bitcoin at the same time. It's basically delta neutral, and that's basically how they are generating this yield for their customers. Now, in this announcement, they announced to create 5 million shares and $100 per share, which means that the total amount of shares that they will sell in dollar terms is $500 million. Now, after they made this announcement, they have since updated it to cover not $500 million, but to go all the way to $2 billion worth of buying with the STRC. So we will see future buying from Michael Saylor, uh, uh, hopefully in the coming days or months, or whenever they close this sale. But all in all, that is still buy pressure. Then we saw Similar Scientific acquire 175 Bitcoin worth $21 million this week as well. So quite a lot of buying at the same time as we are seeing this huge whale basically selling. And obviously, when you sell this much in this short period of time, the buy pressure simply cannot withstand this sell pressure. So if this selling is being done over the next week or 2 weeks, then it might actually knock the prices down from these current levels, which is obviously not what we want to see. But that is basically the scare. Then we had an update from Tron Network and Nasdaq, which is that our golden boy Tron, Justin Sun from Tron, he actually went ahead over to Nasdaq to ring the bell. And after this ring bell event, you can see the price of the Tron share actually just completely fell flat, and now is sitting somewhere at $9 almost. So you could snatch up this discount if you feel like getting some Tron shares on the Nasdaq exchange. But all in all, that is basically what's happening there. Now that's basically everything, or all the major news. But we also have a little bit of a side event going on in between Thailand and Cambodia. So as of now, from what I've gathered, about 20 civilians have died, and like a handful of soldiers on both sides have died as well. And the rockets are flying basically non-stop as of now between the border. I suspect, because Thailand basically has 10x the military compared to Cambodia, that this attack from Cambodia into Thailand is going to be short-lived, and is going to be limited to a border conflict. I don't think it's going to escalate into anything bigger than that. And China is basically supporting both countries, Thailand and Cambodia. Thailand is part of the uh, BRICS bloc as well. Thailand is friends with United States and Western countries, whereas Cambodia is a communistic country. So I don't think they can sustain a fight against a country 3 times larger in population and with much bigger army and better allies. So let's see how things continue. I hope it would end soon, but I don't think it will have any significant impact on crypto or anything else. But I just wanted to uh, show you guys that this is going on. And then going into Google Trends, we're basically seeing now a disinterest in the word Bitcoin from last week. So that is interesting. Retail investors just came to look at Bitcoin after the Genius Act bills were passed and the other ones, and now a lot of investors are already losing interest. But I believe it eventually will turn around, as Donald Trump has an incentive to basically pump his bags. And one more thing that I forgot to show, or I forgot to pull up, was Donald Trump's World Liberty Finance. It has acquired even more Ethereum throughout this week as well. I forgot the number, but that's basically happened as well throughout this week. Now, going into fundamentals and looking at the Ethereum ETFs, we're still seeing quite a lot of inflows into Ethereum ETFs. I will show that soon. But looking at Bitcoin ETFs, we basically saw a little bit of dumping here throughout this week. But yesterday, we saw another $226 million inflow. So this week, when you combine all of these things together, it's basically flat from ETF side. But hopping over to Ethereum side, Ethereum is still on the buy side quite in large amounts, even though the price of Ethereum has basically been going sideways. So some whales, some Ethereum stakers I've seen have redeemed their Ethereum dumping on the market, but as of now, the Ethereum ETFs are basically buying all of the selling from on the Ethereum side. So that is quite interesting. The total net assets has increased from basically $19 billion to now almost $21 billion on the Ethereum ETFs. So that is obviously nice to see as well. Now, hopping over to sentiment.net, here we have some interesting updates. The first good update is that the supply of Bitcoin on exchange reserves has dwindled to the downside, but this unfortunately has not updated to reflect the new inflows from the dumping. So the dumping, as it continues from Galaxy Digital onto exchange reserves, I think we will see a spike by my next update, unfortunately. So the sell pressure here is more than the chart actually shows. And then on the stablecoin side, we have seen an increasing amount of stablecoins. So the current amount is $229 billion. So that's an increase from about $2 billion from last week. So it's quite nice to see that the stablecoin means continue, which in my opinion signals that the market still want to continue to the upside after this short downturn, at least fundamentally speaking. Then hopping over to short-term fundamentals, the first thing to look at is the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. And last time I showed you guys this chart, Bitcoin was basically hovering sideways here, and I said that it's more likely that we head over to the downside first before we head over to take the liquidity from the upside, and that's basically what is going on right now. So we have taken the first liquidity zone here as of now, and we have yet to take the second liquidity zone here at $113,000. But I believe that will happen when all of the dumping occurs over from the 80,009 Bitcoin whale. Let's head over to the 1 month view to take a look at if there's anything interesting here. Nothing really. We are basically seeing the same liquidity zone here in the yellow as well, $113,000. Now, if the dumping really kicks off from the whale selling, we could head over to this $103,000 area as well. So I'm not discounting that. I think it's a real possibility because the dumping seems to be quite hard as of now. So if this dumping continues, we could see a flush to this zone as well, which is obviously not optimal, but it is a possibility. To contrast all of this, when we head over to exchanges in real time, even though all of this Bitcoin has been deposited into exchange wallets, we're not seeing that on the order books, at least as of now. So when we take a look at the order books, what we see in the contrast is actually a massive increase in the limit buy orders for Bitcoin. So that is quite interesting that despite all of the dumping of Bitcoin onto exchange balances, that is not reflected here on the spot order book depth. And that is, in my opinion, quite interesting. And looking at the delta here, we saw the spike on the spot markets of $177 million, but now it has diminished to having a positive delta of $57 million more buying than selling. So it's a little bit contrasting information as of now because the real-time information basically screams to me that a dump is coming and the price is going down, but at the same time looking at this chart here, it's basically telling me a different story. But if that $2 billion, $3 billion that has been deposited onto exchange balances, if it actually enters into selling as a market order or limit sell orders, then the prices basically have to go down because the delta here is only $100 million. Now, if suddenly there's billions of dollars worth of sell pressure, then obviously the prices cannot hold and the prices have to go to the downside. So that is obviously not great. On the futures markets, we're seeing a lot of buy pressure on the other hand. So the delta here is currently a positive 55, almost a plus $1 billion more buying than selling on the futures side. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. If the Bitcoin is being used as collateral and they actually use that to buy Bitcoin on the futures side, I don't exactly know, but this is just massive amounts of buying on the futures side. So this data here is now telling me that, hey Denome, you need to buy as much as you can. So now my data is basically all over the place, and I don't know which way the prices go, because we have this massive dumping. Let's see if we have even more from the beginning of the video. Let's take a look. Page 3, page 2, and then page 1. And here, no more dumping as of now. So that was quite interesting. So basically, if I just discard all of the data that I just looked, the most likely situation would be that we have this scenario here where we basically go to $113,000 and then we go back to the upside. This still seems to be in play, but if you want to basically protect your capital, then you can consider having a stop loss at roughly $111,000. And once this price hits, then it's likely that we actually go to $107,000, which is the next liquidity zone, and basically go from there. But then the chart basically goes against you as well. Now, another positive thing that I saw on the chart is on the RSI. So when we head over to 1 hour RSI, you can see that this is basically now on the oversold territory. So it's likely that we could have a move back to the upside here. And also looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, we had that move back to the upside on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which I laid out also in the previous updates. And now the Bitcoin dominance is heading to the downside already. So altcoins are basically uh, uh, outperforming Bitcoin once again. So let's see if this has like one more leg to the upside here, and then finally this continues to the downside and we continue the bull market. Because in my opinion, all of this dumping that we're currently seeing is not ending the bull market. What it could do is it could prolong the bull market if we have these moves to the downside. But all in all, I'm still bullish. But I could flip bearish if Bitcoin price establishes itself basically below this trend line. So this update is a little bit iffy because we have this massive dumping going on, and I don't know how the markets will react to it. But as of now, the markets seem to be basically happy about this dumping because of the limit buy orders are entering into the exchange order books. So that is interesting in itself. Let me know what you think of all of this. And by the way, if you want to support this channel, consider subscribing, consider using my affiliate links in the description, like the video, and perhaps even join our Discord discussion, which is also completely free, and the link is in the description. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one, and bye bye.